For those of you who don't know, this is Matthew Higby. He's the creative director of Planetside 2. He'll be playing with us for about an hour or so. Are you in the squad / platoon?
I'm not in the squad / platoon.
Okay, let me get you in here. Now I get to play. I love being able to just move people to other squads.
Get in this squad.
Go to Delta. Who is this? Pinch hitter, you're going to Delta. And your name is, what is it? You're probably going to get...
Zero.
Higby 0. Okay.
Now there's a shitload of fucking BS out here on the floor down below the biolab. I've been trying to run around and clean them up for a little while.
Okay.
There are a bunch of them. A virtual pile of them.
All right. Wait. See, this one still has red. Can you like half capture an area?
All right. There's a Sunder spawning down here now. Fucking out of rockets. This is not good.
So what class do you play primarily? Do you play them all or?
I like medic and heavy assault the most.
Okay.
I like light assault a lot too. I play light assault a ton.
Light assault's the one with the jetpack, right?
Yeah.
That seems like it would be a pretty strong. And I'm a point whore, so I'm just always gonna play medic.
Yeah, medic is great.
I've always done that in the Battlefield games and any other game that has a medic in it. I always just play that.
Yeah, so kind of what's going on right now is the base is in the progress of being captured. So it's not,
Okay.
even though we own all the points inside, we don't completely get the base until like the ticket counter counts up. So right now we have 14% influence. For a long time we had 0 influence.
Mm-hmm.
Influence is basically a measure of how much territory around the base you own.
Okay.
So if you own a lot of territory around the base, you'll capture the base a hell of a lot faster. Since we didn't own very much territory around the base, it was taking a really long time for it to capture.
Oh, okay.
So if we had 100% of territory with this particular base, 100% of territory around it should make it get captured in about 5 minutes. With no territory influence around it at all, it can take up to 45 minutes.
Gotcha.
So that said, you need to make sure that you own as much territory around the base that you're going to capture as possible. Or you're like set for the long haul of trying to defend the capture that you're trying to make for as long as you can.
Gotcha.
More viable options, but it's just totally up to how you want to play and what kind of strategy you want to do.
Yeah, because my squad arrived here on a Galaxy, and then I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden like 30 people just flew up over the edge. And I didn't know what was going on, but it looked fucking badass. And I was like, all right, cool. I guess we'll try to take this position. And then more and more people just kept piling in. So.
Yeah, this base is biolabs in general are really strange in the way that you capture them. There's not really a direct frontal assault that you can make. You have to either use jump pads to get up on the pads or land up on the pads. You can't just really hoof it in. And that makes them really interesting. It makes them play a little bit different. It makes them really strong defensively compared to some of the other facilities too, which are a little bit easier and more porous for you to just get in with vehicles or infantry.
Gotcha. Now, how do you spawn the jump pads? Is that a class ability, or do you buy those? How does that work?
No, the jump pads are all in predetermined locations. There's not really something to place a jump pad. Although we have talked about doing that. My expectation is people will just stick them underneath stuff and you'll basically slam your head into something and die.
Right. Yeah, you could have some trick videos too with putting them below like Sunders as they're riding over them, etc. So.
Yeah, exactly. That'd actually be pretty fun. Maybe we should do that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
The setup right now is they're just used for transport. They're used in place of things like elevators. And there's 2 different kinds. There's the ones that actually fling you, and then the ones that are more like lifts that just take you straight up and down.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they just solve transportation problems. This whole biolab would be a gigantic staircase if we didn't have those things to be able to get you into it really quick.
Right.
Being in a staircase for 45 minutes.
Right. Yeah, I've seen also, I don't know what facility it is, but I've seen the jump pads that are kind of around the perimeter that jump you from point to point.
Yep.
That was pretty interesting seeing that, because there was like 20 people at once taking the jump.
Yeah, totally. They're just there for you to be able to travel around. So if you're a defender and you want to get from defensive position to defensive position when your base is under attack, it's just a really quick, easy way for you to get from point to point. But as an attacker, you can even go around and use them to hack turrets or whatever you want to do.
Gotcha.
They're cool. I mean, there's nothing really unique about jump pads in an FPS game. I don't think people have seen those since Quake 3 and even before that, I think.
Yeah. So, with the bars on the left, I see that we have 14%, but do we need to fill that in order to capture this? Is that what's going on?
No, that 14% is your current influence. So
right.
That's the most influence on this, and that's just by the number of edges that you're connected to other territory.
Okay.
If I put up the map, it'll make a little bit more sense. So you can see that we only have 2 edges that are connected to NC territory right now.
Okay.
And you can actually see that your purple squad, or some members from your purple squad, are actually over in the Terran BL4 crash site trying to capture that piece of territory, which will give us a little bit more influence.
Gotcha. Okay.
The more influence we have, the faster the cap takes. The easier it is for us to secure it. So next time somebody else tries to come and take it, it takes them a little bit longer because we have more influence around it.
Wow, we've actually lost a lot of stuff to Terran while in the course of being here. We had this entire north area before coming down here, so I guess they wouldn't back-capped it all.
Depending on the population on the server, that can happen a lot. If you have a whole bunch of people that are fighting over ISA, for instance, I've seen a lot. On Zervan, the classic example is the Crown. If you have a ton of people from your empire are fighting over that location, it makes it really hard for you to maintain control over the rest of the map.
All right, so let's talk about this armor that you've got, because I was just staring at your character.
Oh.
Is this... Can everyone get this? Is this developer only? What's going on here?
Let me see. Let me come look.
You're not wearing too... Well, it's not looking too crazy right now. I think it's just standard heavy.
Yeah, I've got... I can go through some other looks here. But I have basically all of the different cosmetic add-ons that we have in the game right now unlocked on my character, and I kind of switch between them. But yeah, these will all be things that you can get access to as a player once we turn the store on and allow you to start buying stuff. Gotcha.
Oh, shit. That looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, so I just switched over to using something a little bit more like a... I guess it's sort
snow
of
camo type. Yeah.
I've got my hip pads on now. We'll have lots of different helmet add-ons too. Let me show you some of the. Like,
oh, what the fuck? That's a max?
Yeah.
That looks awesome.
Yeah. So he's a little bit more beefy than a standard max. I can switch out some other stuff about him too.
Now, are you planning to do anything with? I want to say guild, but that's not the name of it. What outfits? Like,
outfits, yeah.
Are you planning to do anything with that? Looks awesome. Outfit decals or anything like that on armor?
We are. Yeah, absolutely. We want you to be able to have your own customizable outfit decal and be able to, use that on your vehicles and on weapons, basically the same way that you can with standard decals, which are coming in pretty quick.
That looks almost like a transformer or some shit.
Yeah, the big difference with this one and the standard one, let me unequip some of this stuff and show you the standard. Turn off some of this crap.
And this does not affect your character's stat or anything, it's just all look, right?
Correct, yeah, it's just totally cosmetic, so you can choose whichever one you think looks best. You don't really have to worry about getting the one that is the most powerful or anything like that. Did I change?
Yeah, you changed it to like an army.
Bulky shoulder pads on anymore, and it's using army green instead. But yeah, so each of these guys has lots of different customization options that they'll have access to, and that's sort of the bulk of what we'll be selling in the game, is different kind of cosmetic customizations for you to be able to get to really make yourself look however you want. There are some, advantages to having snow camo when you're on a snow continent, right? But
the facility is ours.
We finally captured it.
Yeah, massive sense of accomplishment.
Cool. It says, wait a minute, am I... Oh, okay, so what happens when it's like cut off like this? Because now Terran has just completely cut this off from the rest of the chain, so is this just like a screwed point that we have to defend constantly, or?
It's going to be really challenging to defend this point, but we can defend it. We can defend it for as long as we want, or we can go and reestablish a link back to our own territory, which is probably the smart thing to do.
Okay.
The easiest way to do that would be to just capture the bulwark, I think.
All right, let's see.
Or Garrison, or Black Ridge Garrison.
All right, let's go there. I'll set a platoon waypoint over there, and we'll head that way.
Let's do it. Switch over to light assault.
So it looks like more keys are being given out in chat. I don't know if those actually work, but if they do, there you go.
I was asking you the other day, I was on your stream a couple days ago while you were playing, asking if you were having fun playing the game. I know you've been playing quite a bit, so what do you think so far?
There are moments where it's nighttime and there's just, where am I going? The squad, how do we get out of here before I even go on this rank? People are following me and I just feel like a jackass running in circles. How do we get down?
The smart thing to do would be to use the teleporters in the middle to go down to the bottom and grab Sunderers.
Okay, I'll do that. I think. Is this... There we go. Okay, now I'm downstairs. Alright, oh, this is all broken. So does this have to be repaired?
Yeah, we need an engineer to repair it.
Alright. Squad, someone get down here, repair this stuff, and I'll talk about the game. There's moments where it's nighttime, and you're kind of out in the open field. I've only been playing here on Esamir, but all of the lighting and shit that you guys have in just make the game seem like it's the most epic fight that I've ever been in. And then there's moments like, kind of like we were just doing right here when we were capturing the biolab, where not much was really going on and it was kind of stale. So right now I'm having a lot of fun playing the game. I'm just wondering, like, you know, a month from now or 2 months from now, if I played as much as I have been, if that'll still be there. It seems like there's always conflicts going on, so maybe it will be.
Yeah, I mean, one of our big goals has always been to try to maintain as many active fights as possible. Try to make sure that the world is alive and make sure that it doesn't really get stagnant, you know? There's always a fight going on somewhere that you can go participate in. That's definitely a big goal for our overall design. But we also, I mean, you're not in an outfit right now, right? You're just sort of playing.
Yeah. And I've been wanting to join, but, like, do you guys have a system in the game where you can see active recruiting outfits, or...?
Not yet, man, but we need to put one in. This game, I really feel like right now the game itself is super fun to play on a moment-to-moment basis. It feels like playing a shooter. I mean, it feels like a legit shooter. It doesn't feel like there's been a ton of compromises in the shooter mechanics to be able to make it a massive game, which is great.
Right.
That was always a huge goal for us and something that was a big challenge for us to get right. But the game doesn't really shine as like an experience until you're playing it with a massive coordinated group.
Yeah.
When you have that experience of playing with a big coordinated group and you're actually going on these huge base battles together in large armor formations or big infantry formations, and you're taking on hundreds of guys with hundreds of guys, it's hard to beat that feeling. There's just not a lot of other games that can provide that.
Yeah, I can absolutely relate to that. I think it was the first night I was playing. I was kind of just running around with maybe one other person, two other people, and for what other reason, I guess an outfit rolled in with like 30 people and just started taking this point. And just to see like those 30 people working together and kind of helping them out along the way, that was definitely when I started to enjoy the game a lot more. So I need to get an outfit. My roommate's in one, and I don't know who it is or how he got in there. But every time I go over and watch him play, he's like doing something crazy with 1 billion different tanks. He uploaded a video the other day where they had like 80 Sunderers all run out, and just to see what happens. So I'm very interested to see what that stuff looks like. Where's the rest of the squad at? They're kind of all over the place. I'm gonna go ahead and head over.
Our challenge, sort of one of our big challenges right now, is how do we provide that coordinated outfit gameplay experience, which we know is awesome and something that you can't get anywhere else. How do we make that experience happen more easily and more seamlessly for new players who are jumping in for the first time?
Right.
That's one of our big design challenges on the game right now, and one of the things that we're working on between now and launch, as well as things obviously like optimization and bug fixing. But just how do new players get in and start to be able to experience the massive gameplay potential that Planetside 2 has? Because most people will just see it and they'll say, oh, it's an FPS with thousands of people. I wonder what that means. What is that about? And then they jump in and they get into a boring fight or something, and it stinks because they're not getting to see the promise of what a massive shooter can be. But as soon as they get into that, or as soon as they see it for the very first time or watch a video of somebody doing it, it hooks you. It really does.
It really does, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean that's one of our big challenges. We have a lot of things to do before the game is finished, for sure. But that's one of our big goals, is trying to get that new player experience to feel as epic and as exciting for somebody who's jumping in for the first time. Make it a little bit less random, that they're going to have a fun time. Right now we know it's fun if you get a group. We know it's not as fun if you don't. So it's pretty easy for us to say, okay, well then our trick is making sure that people get into good, fun groups.
Have you thought about doing anything where you kind of run into an area and you automatically get put into an open squad?
Well, we kind of have auto squadding, right? Which you can hit F11 and it puts you in a squad with people within that same area, or it tries to put you in a squad with people within that same area. Making that happen automatically as you switch from area to area would be more challenging, but it's something that we have talked about, making your auto squad be based on where you're fighting. So as I fly around, it auto squads me into different squads. It's just kind of jarring to have that happen. So we haven't really put a lot of work into it.
kind of in a bad spot right now here in the open being repaired. I'm just going to run back, I guess. This also happens to me a lot. I'll put a waypoint on the map, and then in the course of getting there, I just get completely sidetracked just fighting people in the random open area.
I think all you really need to do right now is deploy that thing. We'll be set. We've got another one up here. We have pretty minimal resistance on this base right now, to be honest.
And this is... Oh, up here at A, I guess is what you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. We
Okay.
just need to capture A. It seems like we're doing it.
Now,
I've seen TR, not a lot.
I do have one complaint that has been really annoying. Whenever I'm driving or just walking in the open area and I don't know where vehicle spawns are, I get team killed, and I team kill so much. It's one of the hardest things I've found to deal with at the moment.
So you're just like running people over, or you're parking on top of the vehicle spawn, so your vehicle's killing other vehicles. When
Yeah,
they try to...
or a perfect example is earlier when we got up onto the biolab or whatever. I had dropped a squad waypoint, and so I was falling in from the sky, dropping in, landed on top of the galaxy, and it killed the galaxy that we flew in on, as well as the person inside of it. Is that just a casualty of war? Is that planned? Is that supposed to happen?
I mean, to some degree, yeah. Hold on, I'm getting annihilated here by some TR and BS outside. To some degree, yeah. We need to make sure that it's a little bit more obvious that those kind of things are going to happen. So if you park your vehicle on top of the vehicle spawn point, we probably need to have a message come out that says, "Hey, don't do that. Be careful."
I'm Resiny, by the way.
All right, thanks. There's a whole bunch of TR up behind this hill.
Okay. Oh god, see? Like it just happened. I'm just resin people in the middle and I get a suicide somehow. Sunder runs me over.
Yeah. Yeah, getting run over sucks. We just recently put in a patch that made it so you have to be going a certain speed. Ah, fuck. Just ran into a max. You have to be going over 25 kph to be able to start doing damage to guys. That might be a little bit too low. We might need to up that to maybe 35 kph or something like that.
Okay.
There's a Sunderer and some maxes right behind where I died on that hill.
Okay.
What happened to your Sunderer? Is it gone?
No, it's in the it's back here a little bit. They might have actually killed it.
Yeah, I think it's gone.
So if you have a Sunderer, you have a vehicle, it shows up on like the right-hand side with the percentage of HP, right?
Correct.
Okay, it's gone then, because it's not there.
It got blown up. Because I lost my spawn point.
Okay. Well, I could throw down a squad waypoint, I think. Or no, I guess I don't have any. I didn't buy any when I respawned.
If we have an infiltrator in the squad, they can go hack the vehicle terminal and pull out a Sunderer. That's one of the smart tactics right now. Wherever my body is, it looks like it's swarming with BS. All right, I'm just gonna cheat and res myself.
That's no fun.
Yes,
What
it is. Oh, these guys are freaked out. They're like, "What happened?" Zombie.
You just spawn with invincibility and start taking them all out.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
God.
my perks. Yeah, there's a ton of BS over where I'm at.
All right, I'm spamming some keys in chat real quick.
I'm gonna respawn back to Ymir.
What was the last one I just gave out? All right. So I guess everyone's over at A right now.
They're outmatched. Finish them off.
I've noticed the medic gun. What gun am I using here?
The Gauss rifle, probably.
Yeah. This gun. I put a red dot sight on it. This gun's good, man.
Oh no, that thing's a fucking beater, dude. That gun does not screw around at all.
I love like the fact that I can. Oh, there we go. Captured it.
The facility
Oh
is
shit.
ours.
The fact that I can just go like toe to toe, unless it's a warrior or not a warrior, an assault, and they pop that extra shield. That's annoying, but I understand why it's there. But it's just like, man, I don't know what I'm supposed to do against that.
Well, as a medic, the smartest thing for you to do is like run away and choose an engagement that's a little bit further away.
Right.
You're sort of better in a mid to long range capacity with a medic, and they're sort of better in a short to mid range capacity. So if they're right on you, you're fucked. I mean, the best thing you can do is hope to get lucky and get some headshots through the shield, but your best move is just to bust out of there and take them out from a little further away.
Right. So here's another question for you. As someone that's these people that are getting the keys and will be playing soon upon release, when you first start getting certs, what are the kind of the best things to get to help your character and maybe even help your squad out?
That's a great question. It totally depends on what your playstyle is. I think one of the smartest things that you can get that's always going to be useful is get the spawn certification for the Sunderer. Being able to pull a Sunderer that has the capacity to spawn guys at it is just hugely beneficial no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, other than that, if you're a medic, get the advanced healing tools so that when you res people, they res with more hit points. A lot of times guys get one-shotted when they get rezzed and they just die right away. But if you have that advanced tool, then they'll come back with full health. That's a really important thing for you to get.
Okay. See, I've got the 30% one right now, and it's definitely helping. But at the same time, like, I kind of enjoy that they come back with no life because then I could just res them again for more points. But
yeah, it's true. You can actually get points for healing them and stuff. But if you're looking at it from a how do I make sure that my empire is doing well perspective, that's usually the certs that you want to get. Yeah, you don't get as much experience from it, but if you're playing in an organized outfit or you're playing with an organized group, your whole game plan is going to be about how do we remain 100% effective as often as possible. So just being able to have those shortcuts that make it a little bit quicker for you to get back into fights is really, really important.
All right. I think we're going to go to the Ellie Amp station, I guess. I don't really know where else to go, so let's see here. I'm going to spawn a Sunderer as well. Oh, I've got a cooldown. I didn't know there were cooldowns on vehicle respawns.
I think we should get Black Ridge Garrison, personally.
Okay. I'll take your advice. Is that north? Oh, that's north of us, right?
North of us, yeah.
Okay.
It'll make your mirror fight a little bit better.
Okay. I'm going to hop in one of these Sunderers. And it just got ran over. I did notice the other day, actually, someone had the upgraded Sunderer with the missile, I think, on the back.
Yeah.
And that was really awesome because we were actually able to go not toe to toe, but we were able to fight against tanks and not just like run constantly.
Yeah, the Sunderer is actually a beast, man. It's really strong. This scythe fucking taking pot shots at me is pissing me off here.
Let's give it this one. Okay, here we go.
Smoke weed 420 won't stop shooting me.
Do you guys have any? I mean, the name filter seems pretty open in that regard. Like I've seen. In fact, I think we had someone in here named JP's Left Nut. We also had the Middle Nut the other day playing. So is it pretty open with the name generator? Or not generator, the name creator?
I mean, I can't guarantee that it'll necessarily stay as open as it is right now.
Right.
You know, I have no idea what the ESRB thinks of Smoke Weed 420 and JP's Middle Nut.
Right.
But we always say that the gameplay experiences changes with online play, so I guess it's not necessarily our fault.
That's true. You can get away with that. So while we're running over to this point, I know a lot of people. I was looking around on the forums and kind of getting, since I'm kind of new to the game, getting a general idea of what some of the hardcore players are talking about. And I watched, which I'm sure you did as well, watched Total Biscuit's video the other day and saying the game's going to be coming out too soon. Are you guys just grinding the hell out of bugs and everything right now as fast as you possibly can?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you haven't been playing the beta for a super long time, right? You've been playing it fairly recently?
Yeah. I just picked it up probably, I'd say, the past 3 weeks is when I've been playing it.
I think if you talk to a lot of our beta testers, you'll see that kind of across the board, one of the things that we've been that our beta testers at least have been really happy about is how responsive we've been to stuff, how quickly we're iterating and changing stuff. All of that just comes from listening to player feedback and making sure that we're fixing the biggest issues that are affecting our players and putting in the right kind of things that our players are asking for. And the game has changed since our tech test. I mean, it's 180 degrees different than it was at tech test right now. And that's a good thing.
Okay.
we have a path right now to launch that we're all confident in. It's been something that we've been working towards for a while. This date didn't come as like a big surprise to us. We've known this date for a long time,
Right.
and we have definitely some big ticket things that we need to fix in the game. No denying it at all. And a lot of those things will be getting fixed in the next couple weeks.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, we're pretty much ready to go. And in terms of how we've been grinding for the last few weeks, this team has been working its ass off for months. I don't know, since GDC, this team has been working really, really hard, coming in on weekends and staying late. You know, this has been a really hard fought project for a lot of people on the team specifically because everybody sees the promise and the potential in this kind of game.
Yeah,
So-
and I think that's what Total Biscuit was also kind of getting at, is he sees that as well, so he doesn't want it to be tarnished, I guess. But he was also a big PS1 guy, so he has a little bit more of a interest in it than I guess most people do.
Yeah, he was, and he's been actually really involved for a long time. We've had John to the studio several times. I've Total Biscuit to the studio several times in the last few months. He's been doing some of our very first reveal videos for it and stuff. And you know, we respect the dude a hell of a lot. We respect his opinion a hell of a lot, and I think that says a lot for him, considering how much we've worked for him. That he's perfectly willing to come out and say these are the things that I don't think are right about the game. We respect that a ton, and yeah, it's good. I think the best thing about that video, from my perspective, was he didn't say anything that we didn't already know.
That's good.
The stuff that he was bringing up as things that are wrong with the game are not only things that we know are wrong with the game, but things that we have an active plan to solve. Which is great.
That's really good.
Hey, you know what? The guns in the game suck, and the vehicles are no fun, and we're going to have to completely redo all of those. Then we would have been like, well, shit, dude, what do we do to respond to this? How do we get that? But he nailed the exact things that we know are wrong with the game and that we're trying to fix. So that's a pretty good place.
Yeah, I know the other day you guys actually, I don't know if it was a hot fix or if it was a full-on patch, but you put in a performance upgrade somewhat. And since then, it definitely, it looks better, but it's also running a lot better on my machine.
Yeah, well, we've been putting in performance fixes every week. And sometimes they're bigger, sometimes they're smaller, sometimes they affect a small number of people, sometimes they affect a lot of people. Performance is a grind, man. It is just a straight up grind to get the performance good in a game like this. Because we started off with having something that it's just challenging for computers to do the kind of thing that we're trying to get them to do.
Right.
Games are really good at showing crazy good graphics. Video cards have come a long way to allow for the sort of spectacle of graphics that we have now. But being able to track this number of players, being able to interpolate this many characters without having a massive bandwidth footprint, those are really difficult challenges to solve. And that's one of the reasons that there's not a lot of MMO or FPS games out there.
Yeah.
Is because being able to support this kind of stuff, even right now, I can tell you exactly how many people we have standing in this area around us. There's 75 players and 23 NPCs, which means videos and stuff, or vehicles and stuff, that are around within our network radius right now. That means that your computer is aware of them. That's more characters than in the largest battlefield map that you can see. And right now we're in a really small fight. So if you imagine being in a gigantic fight with lots of people fight, or a big facility fight, the number of characters that are being tracked and that you're receiving updates about is huge. And being able to do all that kind of stuff without a lot of lag and just being able to have like a good gameplay experience is technically extremely challenging. So it's a long process to try to get it running better and faster. And sometimes we put out an optimization change, and it's one of the things that makes the game crash for some percentage of people. They crash every time they log in now. And that sucks because it got us 15% additional performance on everybody's machine, but those guys can't play. So now we have to pull that performance fix down, put some more time into it. And that's really been the story of what we've been doing with big performance updates for a long time.
Oh, we finally have a connection. Should we go take out Glacier Station, I guess? Looks like it's already under attack, but...
Ah, dude, we're kicking ass now.
Yeah, we just took everything.
Yeah, let's take Glacier Station out, and then we'll put the squeeze on the VS. That'll be fun.
Okay. Here's my Sunder. Oh god, he's gonna kill me. I'm dead. I've noticed also that for the Sunders that have the equipment upgrade, that you can only board them through the front. Is that true, or is that it? Because I know that the equipments you go to the back, right, to get your equipment or change it, I guess.
Yeah, I believe that is true. So they have kind of a quadrant set up. There's a VS Sunder on me.
Eyes on an enemy lightning. Hostile in the air.
God, it's a clusterfuck down there of Sunders.
Yeah, so Sunders are a big challenge to balance because
I bet, yeah.
they're one of the most important vehicles in the game. You want to always be able to have access to them to be able to move your squad forward. But having too many of them means that if you just bring 20 Sunderers to a fight, deploy them all, how do you ever push those guys out of that fight? They always are going to have a place to respawn on, you know?
Yeah. Are you guys still kind of struggling with a lot of ideas right now with that, or have you got it to a nice area, a nice spot?
We know exactly what to do with it. We're making it so that you cannot deploy Sunders within the radius of another deployed Sunder.
Okay.
But we also made it so that Sunders were available in more locations. So, and this was a controversial change, so I kind of want to explain why we did it this way.
Sure.
We made it so that you can get a Sunder at any outpost in the game right now. Previously, you would only be able to get them at towers, at certain large outposts, and at large-scale facilities. What ended up happening a lot, especially on Indar, and actually on Esamir to some extent too, is you would capture a base like this one. It would be pretty far away from the next nearest facility for you to go to, and you wouldn't be able, if your Sunder got destroyed in the course of taking that, your whole squad was basically marooned there for until you could go back to the LE amp station, hack out a Sunder, come and pick them up, and then progress on. So we wanted to make it so that you had access to be able to get Sunders at more locations so that you didn't have that downtime of, well, shit, now somebody needs to go back, respawn a Sunder, bring it over. Oh, crap, dude, fucking Bond, we're falling from the sky over here.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. Oh, he's got to get away.
Yeah, so we wanted to make it so that you had better access to Sunders so that we reduce that amount of downtime. Some people look at that as a lessening of the logistical importance, but I really see it as just sort of getting rid of a needless inconvenience that existed. But we're also going to be increasing the resource cost on Sunders, so you can't just spam them as often as you can right now, because it's going to cost you a little bit to do that. And also making it so that you just can't deploy them within a certain distance from another. Right now it's set to 100 meters. I think that's probably a little too low. We'll probably increase that at some point. But that's what we're going to go out with this next patch, which is going to be on Wednesday night. And we'll see how it feels, and then we can increase it from there.
So real quick, let's give away some keys while we're going over to this other area. Geeden, I think is how you say your name. If you're in the chat, respond, and I will send you a message on Twitch, and we'll keep giving them out. Does anyone actually... That's a kind of an interesting question. Is there a end all, like a win in this game? Can you take over an entire continent and win for that week or that month or anything like that?
So that kind of gets to one of the fundamental issues with making a persistent PvP game.
Right.
Because it's persistent, you don't really want to have somebody just win and then you can't play anymore, right? Because that sucks. But you don't really want to lessen the persistence by making it so that you have a match thing where when you win the match, it resets it. What we're doing is we're putting in continent domination bonuses. And a continent domination bonus is essentially, once you own 100% of the territory on the map, your whole empire, no matter where in the world you are, gets a bonus for that continent. For instance, maybe you'll get 25% faster vehicle spawns for owning a certain continent because that's the vehicle spawning continent. This creates some really cool things. It makes it so that as a empire, you have this large meta goal. I want to capture the entire continent. But you also have the counter goal, too, of, well, we have this benefit right now, so we feel invested in securing our territory, making sure that we can defend our territory on this continent. And you get those kind of last stand moments where one empire is getting pushed back, but they have the territory bonus on it. They don't want to lose the territory bonus, so they're going to, fight tooth and claw to be able to maintain their last couple territories on that map. I see that working out in different ways, depending on the time of day. You might have the two squads of people who are on during the late night hours who are defending the map from getting taken over because they've had that territory bonus for months already or something,
Okay.
So that gives us a little bit of a better goal. And it also kind of gives some extra depth to the metagame of, well, we really want to make sure that we control Amrish so that we get that bonus before we go fight on Indar, where that bonus is really useful.
Right.
A lot of possibility for us to be able to have that kind of stuff once we have the basic workings of that set up.
Now, Planetside 1 had, I believe, 10 worlds or continents. Do you guys have a goal? It's 3 for launch, right? You guys are planning on releasing Amaresh before you launch or
Correct.
at launch?
It'll be released next week, actually. So.
Oh, awesome. Do you plan on, I mean, what is a good number, in your opinion, for kind of, I don't know, a year out from now or 2 years out from now? Are you going to be constantly adding new continents into the game?
Absolutely, yeah. Within the next year, we're going to be putting in 3 more. And my goal, honestly, is to try to get every single one of the original Planetside continents into Planetside 2, and then start moving on to new planets. We already have ideas for new planets. We have ideas for ways for getting in between the new planets. Those are all really long-term goals. Obviously, if we're going to get 3 in the next year, you can imagine how long it's going to take to get all the original Planetside ones in, and then start moving on beyond that. But that's definitely one of our long-term goals. And when we think about and plan out a game like this, we do think about what it's going to be in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years time.
So it looks like we're taking that point. I guess I'm just going to start spamming more keys out in the chat. I did have a couple of community questions come in. A lot of people are asking about faction imbalance, and if you guys have any workaround or anything like that in the future, or planned out, or any solution to it.
Well, I mean, there's kind of multiple facets to that problem, right? There's the population imbalance problem, which I think we've resolved to some degree by having better bonuses and by getting rid of some of the passive rewards that we had previously.
Okay.
Earlier in beta, maybe 3 weeks ago or so, we had completely passive rewards for Araxium, which was the thing that you used to buy new guns. And that really just encouraged people to camp. They would gain 100% of control on a continent and then just camp the warp gate so no one would get out. It effectively just denied playing the game to the other factions, which sucked. We got rid of that passive Araxium gain, and it pretty much cleared that up. Now there's no point to just sitting around on a continent when you own 100% of it anymore, because you're not getting anything for it anymore.
Makes sense.
So I think that did help out to some degree with population imbalance. If we look at world population on this particular server, it's 28%, 35%, 36%. So there's still some imbalance in terms of the VS isn't as high as the TR and NC. But we just recently buffed the VS, which hopefully will get those whiners to stop complaining and log in. They're also getting a bonus. So right now they're down by something like 5% population on the mean. And that means that they're getting a plus 3% experience and resource bonus for fighting. So that helps out with those kind of population imbalances to some degree. In terms of weapon imbalance and vehicle imbalance, that's just an ongoing fight. That's, I love the NC, but my job is to make a great game that's balanced and everybody has fun with. So even though they're my faction of choice, I don't spend a bunch of time telling everybody we need to make the NC weapons the strongest ones. Else we're just going to make these ones the best. I think some people have taken our factional loyalty, which, I mean, I got a bunch of faction loyalty. I got a flag, here. I got T-shirts. We definitely have our faction loyalty, but that doesn't mean that we are trying to make the game imbalanced in one way or the other, or that we would ever do something like that. So yeah, we're just working on it. And we have some really cool data too to be able to let us know what stuff is working, what stuff's not, which weapons are being really effective, which ones aren't. And actually, in the grand scheme of things right now, we're relatively well balanced. Compared to how many moving parts we have, it's amazing. We are as well balanced as we are with the current weapons.
I think we've got an outfit here trying to show off right now on the stream. Out here in front of wherever this is.
Where are they? Oh, yeah.
Cons. Oh, I hope some of them die right here to the van who's shooting. Or a grenade or something comes in.
I'm shooting missiles at them.
I would love it if something just killed every single one of these guys. That would make my day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you should totally switch and just kill them all.
How's that?
I think you got 3. I think you got 3. Now they're all running away. Oh, there you go.
They got plenty of warning.
Oh god, that's great. Oh, it's whatever you did is just like frozen my game.
Yeah, every time I do this, it causes problems. I should stop.
You have broken the game. Thank you. Thank you.
I just spawned like 10 galaxies right on top of each other. There you go, buddy. You're like locked up?
Yeah. I think it's actually just like fatal aired.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I think he's broken it.
Yep. Like I said, anytime That's great. I should have gotten credit for that. Somebody just flew a scythe into one of the galaxies that I spawned. It died.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna have to close out the game. Higby breaking the game.
Sorry, buddy.
Are you guys gonna do anything? Any like events like this, in-game dev events or anything? Any fun events like that post-release?
Oh yeah, for sure. One of the things that I think just in general we love doing as developers on any MMO game is doing little events with players, being able to do holiday events and different events based on changing the story of the world around and stuff. And I should have been careful with my spawning the galaxy thing with the stream going. All kinds of problems here.
Yeah, I'm sure that that entire outfit is disconnected.
Nah, they're all here standing around being pissed off.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Your team killing me now.
So yeah, I'm gonna load back in the game. We'll give away some keys here while I am doing that.
So guys, sorry about the galaxies.
Do you are you guys gonna add in? Are you comfortable right now with all the vehicles? Do you plan on adding in any in the future? If there's even any other roles that a vehicle could fill?
We'll add more vehicles for sure. There's definitely a lot of room for vehicles. Some of the original Planetside vehicles, like buggies, like the Lodestar, for instance, which was a flying vehicle transport. Being able to have those kind of things in the game, absolutely, we want to be able to put them in. This is a game that I mean, one of the most important things to keep in mind about this game is it doesn't ship it's not done on the ship date. That's not it. Right. You know? This is something that we're planning on adding to for years. We already have years of new content planned, but we're going to be adding more and more of that for a long period of time. New vehicles, new continents, new game systems, new features. We talked a bit about some of that stuff at SOE Live. A bit about some of the new outfit functionality that we're going to be putting in.
Did I read somewhere, maybe it was at SOE Live, that you guys are looking to do outfit, like, what am I trying to say? Outfit, not housing, but bases and things like that?
Yeah. That is one of our more long-term goals. Something that we're going to be working on within the first year of launch is putting in the ability for outfits to own essentially like this area that we're standing on right here. Like they could be able to build this outpost and control it, and someone else could come in and destroy it. So right now resources aren't really in the game in terms of Araxium. That was removed, but that's the kind of thing that's going to be coming back so that we can add in these kind of sandbox features like being able to build your own bases, being able to build your own outposts, being able to set up your own defensive arrays around passes. All that kind of stuff is definitely long-term goals for what we want to do to bring more sandbox.
I'm sure to balance that is just that is going to be incredibly hard to be able to balance that.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's
so,
worth it.
I don't know who has. Sorry to interrupt. I don't know who has leadership of that platoon, but I need an invite because it booted me out of it.
Oh, let me look. Echo, ECHOOO.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and send an invite if you can. So another thing I do enjoy is this instant action ability that you guys have put in. The cooldown on it is 25 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
Is that set in stone? Are you guys happy with where that's at right now?
I think we'll probably decrease that slightly, allow people to get into it a little bit quicker. Those are sort of the tools that when I was talking about ways to make the game easier for you to just jump in and play, the instant action system is one of those tools. That's what it's made for. Making a little bit more accessible. It's only been as of this last patch that really was doing anything useful for you and not just like getting you lost in some location that you had no idea. We just put in a bunch of fixes to it So now it's actually usable again. So those of you guys who've been avoiding it in beta because it wasn't doing anything like you predicted it to do, give it a try again and see how it feels now. But we're putting in more things like in the instant actions thing, the ability for you to jump straight to your squad leader, which previously it was kind of a pain in the ass to find your squad leader.
Right. That's good.
Yeah.
I gotta be able to get back. Like right now, that would actually be awesome. You don't have the ability to teleport me anywhere, do you?
Yeah, sure.
Just bring me to wherever you're at.
Hold on.
That'll solve. Let me deploy real quick. I'll just deploy at the
Let me
warp
just
gate.
revive you.
Oh, sorry. I just rezzed back at the warp gate.
All right.
There we go. This is what it's like to have a dev friend, guys.
Did you get re-invited to the squad?
No, not yet. Someone's asking me to join a squad. I don't know if it's that one though. Oh, here we go. I could just join it. Cool. I'm back in. Okay.
Watch out for this mag rider over here. Oh fuck.
Oh, what? Did he? Oh, he didn't kill it. Oh god, that thing's looking at us. Did you get the shot off?
Good. Fuck. Hell no, dude. Fuck you. Haha, I killed both of them.
Nice. There's another one right across over this ridge. Oh god, here comes the Sunderer. It's coming straight for me.
The enemy has
I
heavy
need the Sunderer because I need
artillery
some rockets. Hello.
Shit. Get inside.
Are you a big FPS player in general, or are you?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of go from game to game, but I guess I grew up on FPS on Quake 3 and Battlefield 1942, and then eventually Battlefield. But I was definitely into the hardcore Quake 3 scene back in the day.
I was a big Quake 2 player. I played a lot of Rocket Arena, and then I became a huge Unreal Tournament fan. I played a lot of Quake 3 Arena too.
Yeah, see, I was a huge RE3 guy. That was actually kind of the game that got me into FPSs to begin with.
Yeah,
And
Rocket Arena was my shit back in Quake 2. God, I loved
Yeah,
it.
I hate when you like go to a what's going on there. I hate when you go to a Quake 3 kind of not a loyalist, but someone that just loves DM and just like shits on anyone that plays RE3 because it is kind of like a noob level game. But like if I go to Wheat and I'm like, man, I loved RE3, and he's like, what the? Get out of here with that shit, man. That's such a terrible game. I'm like, it was good. It was accessible.
You know, the Rocket Arena was like playing on the meat grinder maps on Battlefield. You know, where it's just like 1,000 tickets, tiny map. You're just playing for action, and that's it. You're not that interested in running around the map, getting map control, and doing all those things that are really important in a normal FPS game. But to me, it's no different than like saying that games like Dota are garbage compared to a RTS game. You know,
Right.
Concentrating on completely different shit. It's all about your Twitch mechanics. It's all about, you don't have to worry about going and controlling the armor and stuff. It's just a different kind of game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so don't take any shit from Weed about that.
It's okay.
It's just different strokes.
The squad name should just be JP's squad or something or other. Is there really 111 people right now around this area?
Right now?
Yeah.
Let me look.
So that's what position I am.
Yeah, there's a lot of people here right now.
Enemy infiltrator spotted.
One of the things that's kind of hard to pick up on is our maps are fairly large. The battles are, they spread out quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard for you to tell sometimes that you're playing with hundreds of other players.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Especially when, for example, like everyone's inside of this big spire right now, and you can't even tell how many people are in there.
Right.
You could see little blips and whatnot, but is there a cap with how many elements on your HUD show up? I assume there is, right?
This facility now belongs to
No, there aren't.
Oh, okay.
There's a limit to how many characters will render on your screen at any given time. So, like, if you're standing next to 500 guys who are all lined up, they're not all going to render. But we have a lot of relevancy rules that make sure that we're prioritizing people that are a threat to you, that are enemies, things like that. And then we also do a lot of distance-based prioritization.
So I got to ask you, what is your favorite part about, or favorite element right now that's in the game? If you had to quantify them all and kind of rank them.
My favorite activity to do in the game is flying around. I definitely love it. Right now, in the current metagame, aircraft are shit because ground-based AAA just has the capacity to completely shut down aircraft. That's something that we're working on. We need to make it so that the AA can't just completely shut down the ability for pilots to fly around and have fun. Not just because I love it, but because other people love flying around too. I like our infantry mechanics. It's taken a really long time to be able to get our infantry mechanics to be as good as they are now. And I'm very proud of where they're at and all the work that's gone into making it where it is. There's a lot of stuff that I'm really happy about with the game. But to me, I think the best thing is that when I get to see people actually doing the things that they're supposed to be doing, in other words, grouping up with lots of people, playing in that massive team play, gameplay experience, that to me is really exciting. As soon as people experience that large-scale gameplay for the first time, that feels really good to me. And when I get to see people making YouTube videos or streams of, holy shit, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen, like I've never seen an FPS that does this kind of stuff before, that feels awesome. You know?
Yeah. I know you guys at SOE Live, you did have a 10 grand esports event. How did that go?
It actually turned out really good. It was a lot of fun. What's this guy doing? What's this dude's name?
I gotta imagine sometimes someone kills you, or you just get a tiny bit upset or irked, and you just kill them or something like that, don't you?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out. Who this asshole is.
Oh, shit.
Our weps suck. LOL.
Ah.
Interesting. That guy found some bug. He was exploiting it, so I kicked him off the server.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
So I'm sorry, I missed the question because I was trying to.
So the esport event that went on at SOE Live. You said because I didn't get a chance to tune into it. I was just wondering like how that went in your eyes.
It went really well. We didn't spend very much time trying to add stuff to the game to support that game. I'm a big esports fan. I mean, I am really looking forward to watching this weekend when you guys do your thing. And to me, I think that Planetside provides a competitive, watchable, exciting gameplay experience, which is the kind of cornerstone of esports. Mm-hmm. So I talk about Planetside having an esports future. I really do think that it has an esports future, but I don't think it looks like the esports that people are used to watching right now. I think it's a completely different type of experience. And I think that's fine. What we did at SOE Live, I don't think is anything close to what we would want to do for a real Planetside esport experience. It was more of we're having a fan event. We wanted to do a prize-based tournament at our fan event, more than here's how we're going to redefine the future of esports with Planetside 2 type of thing. It was never supposed to be anything like that. Obviously we're all busy concentrating on launch, so we didn't spend any time trying to put in anything that made an esport mode more robust than what we had there, which was how many kills can you get in 3 hours? Not the most exciting kind of esport mode in the world, but it also doesn't really show you what Planetside 2 can do, which is allow for thousands of players to be able to play cooperatively and competitively against one another. No other game in the world can do that. And I think that as a viewership experience, that's extremely compelling. Mm-hmm. We just need to figure out the logistics of how we make that competitive gaming experience something that people can play without taking away from the actual world of Planetside, without making it so that the best players aren't participating in the kind of stuff we're participating in right now because they're off queued for tournament mode matches somewhere. We definitely wouldn't want to have that kind of thing happen. It would be more of to me, when I think about esports and tournament modes, I know this isn't even what you asked, but I get excited when I talk about this shit, is if we made it so that the ladders for outfits were completely based on your contribution to the fight in the actual main game itself. So if your outfit is like a 12-man outfit, then you'd be kind of in the featherweight of outfits in Planetside 2. You'd be a
Right.
small scale outfit. You'd be competing against other small scale outfits, and your ladder points would be based on what you do within the game world itself. And then eventually, maybe on a quarterly or monthly basis, we have tournaments where those guys can actually like play against each other for prizes or whatever. But their participation totally hinges on their ability to go get things done within the actual Planetside game itself, not just as an organized tournament group.
Yeah. Are you guys planning on having ranking like that for outfits?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't even. Is that out yet, or is that just at launch, or?
That's not out yet.
Okay. Yeah, because I think that definitely adds an interesting. Because like, I played a lot of Dark Age of Camelot back in the day. I don't know if you're familiar with that game, but a big part of that game was going on the web and going to the main website that Mythic put out, and at the end of the day and end of the week and end of the month, there were top guilds based on how many kills you had, how many RPs you had for that week, that month, etc. And that was really, really awesome to see, because on a certain day, X person would get 1 billion kills because they went out and killed 2 or 3 keeps or things like that. And that really kept me interested in that game for a very, very long time. And it kept the entire hardcore community interested, because who doesn't love seeing their name up on a big website that everyone else can see, you know?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And there's a lot of things that we can do to make that experience better in Planetside 2 also. Because, for instance, what I was saying about having a 12-man outfit, and that's your featherweight outfit.
Mm-hmm.
We also have the capacity to go all the way up to a heavyweight outfit, which might be 250 people. And now you're competing against the other outfits that are 250-man outfits. And when you look at the ladder, you're looking at yourself being compared apples to apples against other huge outfits. Or you could look globally and just see something like kills per player. So you can see the most efficient outfits, as well as the biggest outfits, as well as the ones that are just doing the most. And all of those can be ranked against each other and play against each other. So if we said, like this little basin area that we're fighting in, this might be a really good squad versus squad map for us to instance out and say, okay, this is our squad versus squad tournament, is fighting over something like the Glacier Station. But then if we grab 2 or 3 other territories around here and include them in and say, okay, this is the 48 on 48 person map, and then maybe grab a few more around that, and now we have the 250 versus 250 person map. It's easy for us to scale in that way to be able to have these really large scale things. Now, the other thing that we can do is actually call out outfit participation better than we are right now. You asked earlier about the ability to have an outfit decal. But imagine if that outfit decal, not only was it something that went on your armor, but if your outfit went out and were the primary people responsible for scoring the points in capturing a base, rather than just seeing an NC logo on that base, you actually see your outfit logo on the side of it too.
See, yeah, and that was in Dark Age 2. Guilds could eventually claim keeps, and it was really awesome, because it was awesome for 2 reasons. One, because of your guild emblem was on there, but it was also awesome because when people attacked it, it would spam your guild chat, and then it was like, oh shit, guys, we got to go to so-and-so keep out in so-and-so place and defend like right now, or we're gonna lose it. And it gives a player that much more to log in for, that much more interest in the game, because it has something that's kind of theirs that they own, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Nope, you're exactly right. And those are things that we are definitely planning on putting in. Those are kind of things that I talked about a little bit when we were talking about Outfit 2.0, which is our next evolution of the outfit functionality within the game. And we're excited about it, because being able to own stuff, not just stuff that you build, which is something else that we're doing, but stuff that you've captured, stuff that you've held. In a persistent game like this, when I capture something and it really feels like it's mine until someone comes and takes it back, being able to get that strong sense of ownership is a super important component of that. Right now you have that ownership on a faction level, but we want to make that a little bit more to your outfit, your own player-based association. So much of what we're trying to do with Planetside is make it be more based on the player and less based on the systems that we create for the player. So being able to say that it's your outfit, which is something that you completely own, the name of it is yours, the emblem is yours, and when you capture something, you own it with your outfit, to me is a lot more compelling than just, the new conglomerate, which is a faction that Matt Higby made up. Well, I didn't really make it up. The guys who made the original Planetside made it up.
Right.
It's a lot more compelling for them to have that ownership for something that they did, for something they created, than just, it's the team that I happened to join that did it.
So I think we're going to move back over to Black Ridge Garrison here for people tuning in. I got a full Sunday, so I'm going to go ahead and just take off. Hopefully I don't kill anyone in the process.
I'm going to move on to a meeting here in a few minutes, but I'd love to take some more questions.
Yeah, if you guys have questions from the chat, if you guys have questions, start spamming them. I know Matt has to actually go finish Planetside 2, so he can't stay here all day.
I wish I could. This is fun. I haven't gotten a good fight on Esamir for a while. This is great.
So, hardcore question from Forsosh. Will SMG plus knife infiltrator playstyle be abandoned?
No.
Simple.
we're definitely putting that in, and we're putting in the better cloaking mechanics to allow and support that. What will probably be abandoned in the very near future is the infiltrator plus shotgun playstyle. Shotguns are really good if you can get in close, and if you don't have to worry too much about the reload time, and the cloaking device basically mitigates both of those concerns and makes them extremely strong. So we're probably going to do away with that in the short term. We might bring it back later. Not really sure. But the idea of an infiltrator that's purely doing things like setting up explosives behind enemy lines, doing spotting, having a better invisibility, so rather than being the sniper character, he's actually killing people with SMGs or knifing or boomers, that kind of stuff, definitely still part of the plan. It's probably going to be post-launch, though.
Seeing a lot of questions about battle frames, and if they're going to be in the game, I think is what it was. Chat, yeah.
We already put one in.
Oh, so ask about the battle frame robotics. It's a really hot topic. Are there any plans to put them in?
We already put them in. They're already in, JP.
Okay.
The BFRs are here. I'm just kidding. BFRs were something that was really a controversial addition, I'll say that, to the original Planetside. And kind of as a troll / Easter egg, we stuck one in like an old abandoned bunker on Esamir here for people to find it. Fucking made people shit bricks when they found it, so...
Let's see here. Oh, one of the questions was asking about artillery and if that is ever going to be put into the game, at least some form of it.
Yes. We're putting orbital strikes in. Orbital strikes will be coming. They are essentially like an artillery strike. You can aim them from far away. What a lot of people mean when they talk about artillery is something more like the flail, which was a weapon you could use in the original Planetside. It was an indirect fire weapon. You could park it a couple kilometers away and chuck giant artillery shells in faces with it.
That sounds fun.
It depends on what side of it you're on. If you're on the chicken stuff side, it's kind of fun. If you're on the getting blown up by something that you have no ability to see or react to, it's not quite as fun.
Right.
Those kind of things need to be put in really carefully, and they need to be filling a hole that actually exists, not like we can't create a hole to try to like stuff artillery into the hole, which is sort of one of the problems with making big additions to a game like this. We need to kind of look at it holistically and say, here's where the game is at right. Here's the areas that are anemic, that need a little bit more stuff added to them, and we add stuff that way rather than, well, we think artillery is cool, let's figure out a place to shove it in. We wouldn't want to do it that way. Right now, I don't think that there's a strong place for artillery as a long-range total destruction tool, but as a displacement tool, I think that it would be really valuable for us to add, and that's what Orbital Strike is going to do. It's going to allow you to basically throw down a small-scale orbital bombardment to guys that are hiding behind some rocks or something, so you can't really get to them.
Now, I did see, I actually tuned into, I think it was a Devil Dog stream, and they were up in the 2 or 3 seater airplane, and they were up really, really high, and they were shelling the ground. Is that still in the game? Because that's kind of artillery, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of. That big gunship.
I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what it was. It was really fucking cool because they were up in like the clouds. No one would ever see them. They were just shelling an entire base.
Yeah, that's the Liberator gunship. That thing's really cool. The thing is, you can actually see it when it's firing at you. You can trace the line of where it's at, and you can see it. If there was something shooting at me from a couple kilometers away behind a mountain, there's very little that I feel like I can do about it. At least with the Liberator, I can tell it's up there. I know I'm under threat. Maybe I'll duck down, hide indoors, or switch over to heavy assault and get my anti-air rockets out and try to take some shots at him. With the flail, it was a little bit harder to do that. And again, I mean, we don't really have a problem with the idea of indirect fire. Like you said, the Liberator does provide some degree of indirect fire with just how far away it can be. It just needs to have a place in the game that makes sense. Right now, the Liberator's role is actually diminished slightly by how strong anti-air is. And that means that a lot of Sunderers are existing for a lot longer than they should, because they should be getting taken out by Liberators. There's not very many Liberators because you can't get any air superiority right now with how much ground-based AA there is. So, you know, it's one of those really kind of butterfly effect things where, like, one little change over here, if we nerf AA, suddenly Liberators become significantly stronger, and the prevalence of lots and lots of Sunderers goes down just because Liberators are able to hunt them a lot better. It's funny. This game is really huge and interconnected in crazy, crazy ways.
A couple more questions. People are asking if steering wheel support will ever be available for Sundays.
Steering wheel? Oh, they want to have.
I guess they want to role play a bus or I guess so.
Yeah, I'm picturing somebody with like the leopard skin steering wheel, like hanging dice.
Hey, you could sell the different factions. You could sell our steering wheel cover, man. Just saying.
I want to give that guy a job. He just came up with $1 billion idea.
There you go.
Steering covers.
One of the guys was asking. Well, do you have a serious answer for that question?
We don't really plan on doing that right now. Those interior things, but I like the idea of having like a Hulu one of those little dancing Hulu guys as a dashboard customization. So the idea of having steering wheel customization sounds big to me too.
There you
We
go.
don't have any plans on having those in the game right now, but more of the customizations the merrier, in my opinion.
A lot of the hardcore guys are talking about tank spam, and apparently it's an issue. I don't know too much about it, so I can't expand on the topic, but I'm sure you've heard on the forums or something along those lines.
Yeah, tanks are really strong. No doubt about it. Tanks are really powerful. Tanks right now can wield 100% of their, well, not 100%, but a significant amount of their strength with one person in the tank. The downside to a tank is it has a cooldown timer. It has a resource cost. So you can't just spam them indefinitely. What you can spam indefinitely is the number one counter to tanks, which is heavy assault soldiers. There's no limit to how many rockets you can get. You can pick them up from an ammo pack that's free. You don't have to pay any resources for them. And a squad of heavy assaults working together, taking out guys, aiming at the same tank and firing at the same time, can kick the shit out of tanks right now. To me, the problem with tanks is a tactical problem more than a game balance problem. If we nerfed tanks or made them less accessible or made them require more people to be able to use them, which are some of the common suggestions for tanks, I think what we would end up having is, well, Planetside 1, for instance. This is a big contentious issue, so it'll be a good thing for us to end on.
Sure.
Planetside 1 had a dedicated driver and a dedicated gunner to use their main battle tanks. You would spawn the tank yourself, you would buy the certification for it, you would spawn the tank, and then you would drive it. What that ended up having to do in a lot of cases was people would need to spend time on trying to find a gunner. They would sit there in the courtyard of a facility before they moved out screaming, I need a gunner, I need a gunner, I need a gunner. If you didn't have a dedicated group of people that you were playing with, sometimes it was challenging for you to find a gunner. Sometimes you'd get some dude and he was just, fucking off while he was in your turret instead of firing in it. And that could be frustrating. And the other thing that we've changed with Planetside 2 is the way our certification systems work. So in Planetside 2, you could spend hundreds of hours leveling up the tank to get better cannons for it, to get better different types of cannons for it. We didn't want the time that you spent to unlock all that kind of stuff for you to not get very much value out of it, because really all you're going to be doing is driving that tank around. You're not going to be able to gun the stupid thing. That felt really weird when you jumped into a tank in Planetside for the very first time and you're like, shit, yeah, I'm going to buy this tank certification, going to go out there, summon my tank, and then you can't fire it. It felt really strange. People got used to it, and it ended up working pretty well in that game to keep vehicles balanced. But what we wanted to do is kind of a two-step thing. One, we have the secondary weapons on our vehicles. The secondary weapons are actually really, really good. I think that they're undervalued right now in terms of how good they are. If you have a good anti-armor secondary gunner on your vehicle, you're going to be significantly stronger than you are without them. We might need to buff those up to some degree too, especially I think some of the anti-air weapons on them aren't quite as good as they could be. But anti-air in general is really strong right now, so we're kind of hesitant to do that.
Awesome.
The next step of kind of what we were thinking about doing is offering a certification that's a little bit further down the line. So as a more advanced tank driver, you could unlock a certification that would give you a dedicated gunner slot. So now the new player who's just jumping in for the first time doesn't get this weird, oh, why can't I shoot my tank feeling when they get a tank for the first time. But the more advanced players who do have that group of people who they're used to playing with and have like trusted people that they can have gun for them can throw that additional gunner seat onto their vehicle, and then they would get access to some more powerful main tank weapons. Like the Prowler, for instance, has a 4-barrel main cannon, which is just better, right? Mm-hmm. So now, in addition, or for getting this better, for forcing myself into having an extra man in my tank to be able to make it fully crewed, now I also get a slightly more powerful weapon for it too. And I think that solves the problem in the best possible way for more people. But yeah, so tank spam as a problem, I think that it's more of a tactical problem. It's easy to take out tanks. With some of the nerfs to anti-air, air vehicles are going to be really helpful to be able to take out tanks. And then in terms of the coordination and communication thing that a lot of the Planetside 1 players miss having, that tight connection with me working together with the gunner, we want to add that in, but as a more advanced mode rather than the first thing that you see when you first jump into a tank.
Cool.
So there.
Cool. All right. Well, I know you got to jump to a meeting, so Matt, thank you so much for coming on. I know everyone else was enjoying it. I'll be still giving away keys if you guys want to tune in. But anything else you want to say, Matt?
Just thanks for having your stream. I've actually been watching your stream for the last couple of days. It's cool getting to see you guys playing, and I'm glad that you're enjoying it. And hopefully, if anybody has any more questions, hit me up on Twitter or send them. Post them on Reddit or whatever. We're always wherever we can be to try to communicate with anybody who wants to communicate with us. We try
Cool.
as open as we can.
Yeah, and you can see Matt's Twitter right below his webcam right now on the stream. So, Matt, thank you so much, man. It was so much fun.
Thanks, dude. Yeah.
All right, we will see you later. Maybe we'll do one of these in the future.
Sounds good, man. I'd love to.
Cool. All right, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Later,
Peace.
guys.